Being a Tucson real estate agent and lifelong local, it's not uncommon that I have conversations with people about the potential of buying a home in our most famous mountain range. And if that's something that interests you, you might want to stick around for today's video as we show you what Mount Lemmon has to offer. Let's get to it. If you're new to this channel and want to learn everything from A to Z about living in Tucson, AZ, then click subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, I'm Dustin Smith. My wife Jennifer and I have helped hundreds of people just like you move to and from Tucson, Arizona. So whether you're moving in 12 days, 12 weeks, or 12 months, we got you covered. Give us a call, shoot us a text or an email so we can help you make that smooth move to Tucson. All right, so as I mentioned, I'm up here today on Mount Lemmon in the Santa Catalina Mountains. And if you're not familiar with the Santa Catalina Mountains, it's gonna be the large mountain range to the north of Tucson, which basically acts as a natural border for the city of Tucson, or all of the suburbs around the city of Tucson. So even Oro Valley is gonna be to the east of this mountain range. It can be seen from pretty much anywhere in Tucson, unless you're down below hiding behind a hill, behind a house, or there's just something in your way of seeing. You can see from one mountain range to another. Might even come through on the camera right here, but way off to the south over there, I think it's about 24 miles as the crow flies right here. That's gonna be the Santa Rita Mountains over there too. So, I mean, you can literally see from one mountain range to the next, and all this just kind of acts as like a natural border of the valley of Tucson. So at its height, Mount Lemmon is 9,171 feet. And if you compare that to like the Tucson normal of about 2,600 feet, it's a massive change in elevation. And of course, Tucson being known for having ridiculously hot weather, you can drop as much as 30 degrees by going to the top of the mountain. So the town up there is called Summer Haven, and that's because it is a haven during the summertime, a place to go to kind of escape some of those higher temperatures. So the Santa Catalina Mountains, being almost entirely national forest, is mostly wilderness. I mean, you have this one highway. Hey, you got this one highway coming in, the Santa Catalina Highway. That's going to take you up to the town of Summer Haven, and the town of Summer Haven is quite small, but that's going to be like your one patch of residential area up there. And people just come up here constantly to visit, to get hiking in, cycling, just enjoy the change in weather. So up there, they do have a small hotel. They have the Sawmill Run restaurant, which is a great place to stop. If you're not driving, you want to have a pint, your designated driver's with you, stop in there, have a pint and a meal. You have the cookie cabin, so that's kind of like a treat to dessert yourself after a good hike, or just making the drive up here. We've taken the kids in there, so they'll do a fresh baked cookie for you, a scoop of ice cream. They even have slices of pizza, so you can just take care of everything all at once. Pretty much across the street from that is going to be your Mount Lemmon general store and gift shop. Just a neat little place. You want a t-shirt that says you went up Mount Lemmon, you can go in there, pick out a pretty cool t-shirt. You've got, they have a nice fudge selection in there, so some good homemade fudge in there. And then of course, like if you're staying up here camping, or you've got a house up here and you just need some basic groceries, that general store is going to give you your snacks, your basic stuff, some eggs and milk, some, various things. But if you need any major shopping, of course, you got to go back down to Tucson, which from the town up there to the nearest grocery store is about an hour, nearest major grocery store, sorry. You also have the Mount Lemmon ski valley up there. So, a lot of people think of, Tucson as this, hot desert area. But, when we're lucky enough to have some snow, we actually do have the United States' southernmost ski area up there. So you'll see people, if you're pretty much anywhere in Tucson, you got line of sight on the mountain, you'll see that there's some snow up here. And this highway, it'll just get packed. It will take hours to come up here, or they'll close the road down even and clear the road because of the danger of ice, kind of limit it to basically locals only coming up for a little while. But Definitely a lot of fun. We've been part of that storming the mountain before for the snow. It's just, you know, snow is something special in Tucson. A lot of people come here to escape the snow so they don't have to shovel their driveways, but a lot of people that live here for a long time love seeing it. So you'll see things get busy up here. So there's a ton of great camping spots up here on the way to Mount Lemmon, and really all over the Santa Catalina Mountains. And that's going to extend your camping season. Of course, you know, the lower elevations, when you get into summertime, it can be pretty miserable to camp, especially if you're not near like a lake or a water source, which, you know, there's Lake Patagonia not too far away, Parker Canyon, and then a few more hours up to the north, you got Roosevelt and Apache and all the Salt River lakes, or even the White Mountains. I can go on about you know, different places to go visit in the summertime to escape the heat. And you know, this just being a really easy access one from the Tucson area. So if you're thinking about coming up here camping on Mount Lemmon, you know, a couple good campsites. You have the Spencer Campground, or one with a little more history to it. You have the prison camp, or Gordon Hirabayashi. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I know someone got upset before on something that they feel that I mispronounced, but it's kind of back and forth in the Tucson area on how you say Sarita or Sawarita. So different takes on that. If you have your own take on that, let us know in the comment which one you think is right. You know, Sarita or Sawarita. Interesting to see how people kind of spell that one out. But yeah, history there. In the 1930s, they were using that as kind of like a labor camp. So a lot of post-wartime fears. There were a lot of draft dodgers that were used for that. You were also people for things just like tax evasion that ended up getting put to work to really help build the highway up here. So those are beautiful. There's also some great hiking up here. Another fun one is going to be the Sunset Trail. So parts of that are pretty steep, but it is a shorter trail, just over 2 miles, and normally takes people about an hour to complete. And parts of that are also like off the leash, dog friendly. So, you know, cool one to come visit if you've got a canine that loves getting out and, you know, exploring the mountain with, and you trust them to do that. You know, great spot to take them to. A couple other good places to visit if you're on the way up here: Rose Canyon Lake. Now it is a stocked lake, so you can go up there, go fishing. You know, it's called a lake, but it is, you know, quite short. You can stand on one end of it and throw your fishing line all the way across to the other end, or you can walk from one side of that lake to the other in probably about 5 minutes. But it is a nice little area to go up on the mountain. You know, just go enjoy a little bit of water, dunk your feet, throw a line in the water, just being up here in the slightly cooler weather. A couple good pull-offs too if you don't feel like hiking. The 7 Cataracts pull-off. So you can kind of see it off in that direction down there. It just looks like an extended shoulder on the road, but it's a beautiful vantage point right there. And there's like 7 waterfalls whenever there's flowing water up here. So you catch that after, you know, a good snow melt, or during the monsoons, you'll see some raging water. It's definitely something to check out if you're on the way up here. If you know there's any water, see the 7 Cataracts pull off. You know, stop there, enjoy it for a minute. If you got some binoculars, pop out those binoculars. You know, take a closer look. And you know, about another, I think it's about 10 minutes up the road where I'm at right now. Of course, because you know, kind of like switchbacks on the way up here. I'm at Windy Point right here, another popular pull-off right here. We have all these great big like granite rocks around here, crazy rock formations. Some of these stretch out like just oddly tall and skinny, or skinnier on the bottom than they are on the top. They look, you know, extremely top heavy, but they're kind of fun. You just come over here, enjoy some beautiful views. So what I've trying to been giving you guys a backdrop so you're not just staring at my face the whole time. You have great city views right here. And I mentioned you can see all the way out to the Santa Rita Mountains right here. So you see everything in between. You can spot downtown Tucson from right here, a mountain off in that direction too. I mean, you can see so much from right here. One of the best vantage points in the Tucson area. And it's just fun to kind of walk around right here and climb some rocks, take some pictures with the family, or just enjoy the fresh air. Now, of course, you know, a big part of why I'm up here is to show you guys a little bit from the housing market. So let's get ready to go out there, and just to give you a little bit of insight into the market. There are 11 homes publicly listed for sale up here, ranging from about $550,000 up to $2,500,000. And in the last 6 months, 4 homes have sold from $518,000 up into the 680s. So let's go see what these homes look like. All right, so I'm not able to get you all the way up to home one or get you a really good view on that, but I figured I'd give you a little bit of information about that anyways, because I normally do like to talk about, what the entry level price point is in different areas. So that home currently being listed at $550,000. It's exactly 1,000 square foot, built in 2019, and it's 1 bedroom and then like 1 and 1/2 bath. So it is kind of set up to potentially be like a cabin for people that want to come up here and go skiing or escape the summer heat. It was built in 2019, so it is in still, really good shape right there. And it's surrounded by trees. You got a nice deck on there. Definitely good for just some hanging out on the mountain. But I do know that the next 2 homes we can get up to and get you a good view on them. So let's go check those out. All right, a great example of what you can get on Mount Lemmon. This home behind me currently listed with our brokerage, Realty Executives, priced at $824,900. That's what they're asking right now. It's 1,800 square foot, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom home, sitting on just under half an acre right here. You actually have, 2 stories right here, a bottom deck and then an upper deck, if you can see that right there. You have crazy expansive views off to the east. It just keeps going and going, overlooking that valley. This home has just amazing views. Of course, it has that 2nd-story deck, so you can actually sit above the trees and look out at that view. Absolutely stunning. A home being built in 1969. It's been extremely well cared for and updated. And you do have actually some great parking right here too. So the roads actually, I'm standing on like the 2nd road that goes past the house, but the driveway is actually quite level, and it looks like you can fit, at least 3 cars in the residence. And I think keeping like an Airbnb option in mind, they did mention that the home in its current format does sleep 10 people. So you're still only about 5 minutes away from the ski resort right here, or 5 minutes away, from the town if you need to run to the general store, or, go over to the Sawmill Run and grab a bite to eat. All right, and the final home for today, topping off the real estate market on Mount Lemmon. No pun intended, top of the mountain, topping off, but that's kind of funny. This house behind me is currently listed at $2,500,000, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 4,683 square foot. Now that is a whole lot of space. It's actually sitting on 0.55 acres. So you have over half an acre right here. You have just the natural boundaries across the street from me, and just a big hill right here, a lot of mountain beauty. But location, you're a 5-minute walk down to that Sawmill Run restaurant. So easy access to like the Summer Haven shops right there. Where the cookie cabin, all that kind of stuff is. You're also 5 minutes away from Ski Valley. So, if you're up here and you get that good snowfall, you're, quick access to the ski resort. You're gonna be first one up there, ready to go. Definitely a beautiful home, built in 2008, and just meticulously cared for. It really is luxury on the mountaintop. So thank you guys for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it or learned something, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, click subscribe and tap that bell for notifications. If you like learning about real estate in the Tucson area, definitely go to our channel page. You can see information on all the different neighborhoods that we've covered so far. And we're coming out with new videos and introducing new neighborhoods all the time. So if you're subscribed, you'll be the first one to see our new videos. And if you or someone is thinking about moving to or from Tucson, make sure to give us a call. Our contact information is in the description below. Text or email, whatever works best for you. You can set up a Zoom meeting. We really try to make it easy for you. And again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.